Remember when having colleagues from other countries seemed exotic? In today's work environment, having colleagues and coworkers in different countries, different states if you're in the US, and different time zones has kind of become the norm. The good news is that the diversity of today's workplace often sparks new and unique ideas, gives teams different points of view, which benefits companies financially. So if your remote team is spread across multiple time zones, there are some best practices to consider. Whether it's Marie in marketing from Mexico, Sven in sales from Switzerland, or Paul in products from Poland, your team needs ways to connect efficiently, collaborate effectively, and communicate elegantly. Here are 5 tips to help your global team succeed, no matter where they are located. Tip number 1. Understand the time differences and accommodate as much as possible. Sometimes getting all of the required meetings scheduled during core hours just isn't enough, or just isn't possible. Keep track of how often and which teams meet at off hours, and make an effort to keep it in balance. Sometimes the boss and the boss's team might need to take a meeting at 4 in the morning or 11 p.m. instead of colleagues in other time zones. And if you work in the same time zone as the home office, keep in mind that others will appreciate you checking with them to see if a late night or early morning meeting is okay for their schedule. Some of your remote colleagues may actually be used to the odd hours, but asking and mixing it up sometimes can go a long way to building good relationships with your global teammates. Tip number 2, record and keep an archive of your meetings. While recording your meetings is not the same as real-time collaboration, having a record all meetings policy at least gives a team member in a distant time zone the opportunity to retrieve information by reviewing the discussion. Creating a shared document on a platform like Google Drive is a great way to keep track of links to all of your important team meeting recordings and can make life for coworkers in faraway time zones much easier. Tip number 3, embrace technology and mobility. With so much technology literally at our fingertips, working remotely sometimes just makes sense. To keep your team working efficiently in multiple time zones, leverage tools like instant messaging apps, task management software, real-time collaboration tools, and progress trackers. And remember that most of these tools can be used on your computer or your mobile device. And these tools allow global employees to stay on the same page about which parts of a project have been completed and which parts need to be worked on. For example, if an employee in Japan is working while US employees are offline, the US team can see what the Japanese team completed when they were logged in and identify which tasks need to be completed next. Tip number 4. Familiarize yourself with international and regional holidays. As you already know, lots of countries observe lots of holidays. One great example is that while the US observes Labor Day in early September and the exact day changes from year to year, much of the world celebrates Labor Day on May 1st. And many countries have holidays that are very different from what is celebrated in the US. Of course, some holidays mean a day off work, and some don't. So be sure to ask your colleagues about upcoming holidays to see if they may impact who is working when. Keeping these different holidays in mind can help you avoid making a global gaffe. Tip number 5, communicate effectively. The time you spend thinking about, documenting, and getting buy-in on how work gets handed off as one team's day is winding down and the other team's day is ramping up will really pay off. A big part of that is planning for and iterating through what communication is working and what communication is not working. Who is a communication superstar at your organization? Ask that individual to establish best practices that confirm that all of the time zones have enough information. Is your team used to chatting with each other when there is trouble accessing a file? Well, that style is a problem if the person who can help is sound asleep while the person who needs the help is 1 hour into a workday. Always check for clarity, thoroughness of information, access to files, and alternative task assignments in case there is confusion. And much of this will come down to building trust across all your employees and partners, no matter what time zone they are in. Focus on outcomes and productivity, not what or how many hours people work. Empower autonomy. Create clear remote work policies. Have a clear roadmap and maybe even a mission statement everyone helps write. Building trust will go a long way to unify and enhance confidence between all your teams in every time zone. Ultimately, the most important things to embrace are respect, empathy, and inclusion. If you start from there and follow these common sense rules, your team will be sure to have a positive impact on your business's bottom line. If you want to learn more about how a modern business phone system can help your business, please subscribe to this channel. We are committed to helping small businesses find the best communication solutions and will continue to make content for that purpose. Thanks for watching.